You've probably already heard of a few dumb American laws from friends or social media. But as it turns out, most of these facts are either completely outdated or totally fabricated. Don't worry though, the laws in this video are 100% legit. Keep watching to see which state will send you to jail for pretending to be married. Now, here's 10 laws you didn't know existed in the USA. Don't share your password in Tennessee. In Tennessee, movie makers, artists, and others complained about the loss of revenue from subscription-based movie and music channels. The loss of revenue is thought to be because of people sharing passwords to the subscription-based sites like Netflix, iTunes, Napster, etc. So, to help prevent the revenue loss, in Tennessee, you can be fined up to $2,000 and be sentenced up to 1 year in jail for sharing your password. Arizonians love to be prickly. It may sound like a joke, but the penalty isn't. Part of the allure to living in Arizona is the beauty of wide-open desert spaces. That's why it's against the law to cut down a cactus in Arizona. In fact, it's illegal to even dig up a cactus and take it home. Arizonians are so serious about their saguaro that harming one is a Class 4 felony, punishable by a $10,000 fine, and up to 4 years in prison, even if it's on your own property. I want to see palm trees, not billboards. Hawaii is famous for its panoramic views of the beautiful landscapes, beaches and vistas. With this beauty, it's not surprising it's a mega tourist destination. With this tourist activity, it's also no surprise many tourist businesses want to advertise their businesses with billboards. In fact, there started to be so many billboards, the beautiful landscape was being blocked. Thankfully, the Hawaiian legislators enacted a law to ban all billboards. Since then, many cities and states have followed suit to eliminate or limit billboards in many areas. The Carolinas are full of old-fashioned laws regarding public and private decency. Most relate to marriage or the falsification of marriage. One South Carolina law, for example, states that a man over the age of 16 can't propose to a girl without meaning it. He basically can't seduce her with marriage without any intent of following through. Another law, this one from North Carolina, makes it illegal for a man and woman who are not married to share the same hotel room for an immoral purpose. It may seem ridiculous that this can be a law in this day and age, but this next one will make the latter seem normal. By far, the strangest public decency law is that no couple can pretend to be married when checking into a hotel. This means any person trying to conceal an affair is subject to legal action. It's a Class 2 misdemeanor, punishable by 60 days in jail and a $1,000 fine. We don't know if this law is being enforced, but these days, pretending to be married is probably the least indecent thing one can do. No selfie shots with a tiger in New York City. You may be surprised about this law, simply because of the fact there are no wild tigers within 5,000 miles of New York City. There was a time on social media that posting selfie shots with tigers was the in thing. It got so bad that some unscrupulous people were keeping illegal tigers and charging large amounts of money for the selfie shots. The tigers were being kept in terrible conditions, and a few tigers even escaped and attacked people. Some people even jumped into the tiger enclosure at the zoo, trying to get a great tiger selfie shot. Many of those dummies were mauled to death. To try and end this trend, New York passed laws against these tiger selfie shots. The penalties ranged from $1,000 and up to 1 year in prison, just for posting the tiger selfie shots. No fun for you in Hollywood. Everyone remembers Silly String in a Can. Before the iPads, computer games, and Game Boys, kids enjoyed things like Silly String. The novelty toy was so popular, it began to cause huge costs for cities' maintenance and cleanup crews to remove. In addition, the silly string was becoming a hazard to the wildlife. In Hollywood, California, if you use silly string outdoors, you could face a fine of $1,000 and 90 days in jail. Don't be a potty mouth in West Virginia. West Virginia still has a swear jar type of system. The $1 fine has been eliminated and replaced by a $250 fine for swearing in public. The constitutionality of the law has been challenged, but the law has prevailed, and the law is still on the books. However, no one has been charged for breaking the law for years. You better not eat using a knife and fork in Georgia. Gainesville, Georgia, considers itself the fried chicken capital of America, though Kentucky has certainly surpassed Georgia in fried chicken fame. Because Georgia thought eating fried chicken is sacred, they came up with fried chicken dining etiquette, so as to be respectful of the fried chicken. The Georgia legislators enacted a law, making it illegal to eat fried chicken with anything other than your bare hands. That means, no fork, knife, gloves, or any other utensil you can think of. It may be against the law, but there is no penalty if convicted of a fried chicken eating violation. Don't shoot Bigfoot in Washington. In Washington state, there have been so many pictures and other sightings of Bigfoot that a law was enacted to protect Sasquatch. Originally, the law prescribed a sentence of 15 years in prison for shooting Bigfoot. However, the penalty was reduced to a misdemeanor, rather than a felony, punishable by a $1,000 fine, and 1 year in jail. There were a few added clauses. One of the clauses explained, if the Sasquatch ends up to be closer to human than an animal, the perpetrator would be tried under existing homicide laws. Don't paint your poultry in Rhode Island. Everyone knows how children, and even some adults, love to color dye Easter eggs. At one time, it became popular to color dye the feathers of baby chicks and ducklings for Easter. Unfortunately, because people just didn't know, the color dye is harmful to the baby chicks and ducklings. Many of them didn't survive the color dye process. While we're glad that there are laws against animal cruelty, this Rhode Island law is very specific. Anyone caught color dyeing or in possession of a color dyed chick or duckling is subject to a $500 fine and 11 months in jail. That's all for 10 laws you didn't know existed in the USA. Which of these laws surprised you? Share your thoughts with us in the comments below. Do you know of other strange laws we may have missed?